Hello everyone, and welcome to the second part of my report on the corruption and fraud that occurred in the Quebec province. If you didn't watch the first part, I highly recommend you to take a look before this video. This will surely help you better understand what exactly is going on here. Ken Pereira, star witnesses at the Charbonneau Commission, will be here to tell us a bit more about how things were handled by the investigation unit, as well as how he felt being involved in the big corrupted system of the FTQ construction union.
It's really strange to see that in the past, giving contract without appeal was a crime and it was fraud and corruption.
Yeah.
When we look at now with the health emergency and now with the power of the Law 28 that give to the government the possibility to give contract without appeal, now it's not considered as corruption and fraud. Maybe you can tell me a little bit more of what you think about this.
Listen, let's go back to what we were saying at the beginning. You know, they sleep together, they sit down, wine and dine, and that's how they sat down. That's how they resolved the contract. Nowadays, they can't do this in front of everybody. So now all of a sudden, a great way to not contradict, but go besides it is with a health crisis. Well, they tell you, listen, we cannot submit this. We cannot have 5 or 6 contractors or 7 contractors on the table because it'll take too long and we're on a health issue. So they give it directly. So there's always a way, right? So, and every politician knows how to play this game, and it's too bad, but that's how it's done, and it will continue. And if it's not a health crisis, it's going to be something else. It's going to be dictated because of a war or by a financial issue or whatever. We'll have to give it. Don't forget that one of the biggest engineering firms here in Quebec and in Canada was SNC-Lavalin. And they did the result was exactly what happened with the banks in the States. It's too big to fail. So they decided not to apply the rules to this SNC-Lavalin. They let them live and they let them decide that they could still bid on government contracts because they were too big and it affected too many people. So there's always rules for the unruly.
So get back to the Commission Charbonneau. When you were witnesses that something was happening and you saw not only the Hells Angels, but other like big gang being infiltrated with the construction. When did you see that something was happening?
Here in Quebec, the Mafia and the biker gangs take a little percentage of trying to infiltrate in the legal aspect of businesses. And one of the legal aspects is construction, especially residential construction, because they can get in there and they can use money and they can wine and dine and advance their projects and infiltrate slowly but surely the real economy. But so when I saw it every day, because when in my office, I was in the FTQ office, the FTQ construction office, and one of the biggest head union leaders. I had Mafia members coming in every day. I had Hells Angels coming in every day. So anybody who was at that office at that time could see them. They used to play golf tournaments under the banner FTQ with these players. They used to have them on their carts. So it was an everyday occurrence. So I knew it from the beginning that I had to watch out what I was doing, because I wasn't just affecting one man or one local. I was affecting the whole union aspect. And that's one reason why I'm hated, because I didn't just divulge one person, I divulged the system. And that system is still in place today. So that's what was kind of dangerous. And also they wanted to infiltrate one of the biggest solidarity funds, which is worker solidarity, which is the FLQ. So they try to infiltrate that, and I helped them out but even though I helped them out, exposure was worse than helping them out. So I became enemy number one.
Yeah, and how many men did you expose in your testimony?
Well, I exposed the union leader, which was Jocelyn B, but I exposed the system, and I exposed a lot of contractors. And so, you know, in all, we could say about 50 to 75 people, guaranteed. High-end people, you know, people who get huge contracts, city contracts, you know, government contracts, provincial contracts. So it was kind of funny that politicians who today wouldn't speak to me were phoning me every day so I could come and wine and dine with them, because they wanted to know what the mainstream media was gonna say about them the next day.
Do you have any name?
Yeah, but I'll keep it to myself.
Okay.
It's enough. It's been 11 years. You know, it was hard on me, hard on my family. I think it's enough.
And at that time, were you under protection of witnesses?
No, never.
Never?
No. The cops asked me to relocate at one point. They told me they wanted me to, you know, to be under their banner. But if you're under their banner, you have to listen to what they say. You have to expose what they want. And I'm an individual that says what I want. And if I think the government's part of it, I will say it. And if I think it's part of it, the union is part of it, I'll say it. I won't just, you know, sugarcoat something and keep it for me. So when I had to expose the unions, I did, you know. And if I may, unions here in Quebec have lost their souls. In a certain sense, you know, we're unionized because we have to, and not because we want to. You know, here we have Formule RAND, and they take the union dues right away from your slip and your pay, you know. So it's a bit different. So slowly and surely, we're much more of a number. Union members are not listened to. And like I said, and I'm not a anti-union. I'm one of the biggest union men Quebec has ever had. And this, I'm saying this, you know, I'm not trying to promote myself, but we're forced to be unionized, and so there's much less real union men. You know, I'd say there's about, if tomorrow morning they'd say to get unions out of Quebec, within the first 3 years, we'd be at 20%.
And now that we saw that Tony Accurso finally have 4 years of jail, are you scared that maybe a contract in your head, like under your head, is still like there?
Listen, you know, I can't. I played it fair and square. I went to the union. I told them that there was a problem inside the union. I talked to about as many politicians as I talked to criminals. Both of them wanted the same answer. They just wanted to say, are we involved? It's kind of funny, you know, the political side and the corruption side, both of them wanted to have a conversation with me before I was going to the inquiry. And both of them wanted to know about the same thing, is like, are you going to talk about me? And I said no. And I think I kept my word, and that means a lot to a lot of people.
Do you think that some people were not mentioned, but they were involved?
Absolutely. There's always people who are not mentioned and they're involved. Absolutely.
And
listen, the Solidarity Fund is $17 billion fund. Our construction industry is a huge part of our economy. The residential aspect has money left and right, and they've been doing this for the last 50, 60 years. So I mean, they just refined themselves. They're much better now at it. And whatever we did at the public inquiry, we just gave them better ideas to hide. We gave ideas to the cops, to the police, to the justice system, how to infiltrate and how to get some information. But on the other side, we also told them, we taught them how to maybe hide their tactics. Because they were wide open. Anybody in Montreal, any policeman in Montreal could go to 2-3 restaurants, specific restaurant where you'd see union guys, construction guys, and criminal all sitting at the same table. Why did I have to expose that? You ask me.
Some people say that the UPAC is getting better because you have a reset on the member of the Unite. Do you really believe that the UPAC is better right now at doing their investigation?
Yeah, with time, everybody gets better, right? So, I mean, yeah, maybe they're better at doing investigations, but the question we have to ask is, are they using the same tactics? Are they refined like criminal organizations get refined after they go to jail, after they do 2 years? Somebody steals a bank and he gets caught. What does he do? He gets better at it. You know, says, I did this mistake and this mistake. Is UPAC, because they didn't bleed themselves from inside. They didn't say, listen, you know, let's fix this body inside. They had to be exposed so that they change their way. So, you know, Lafrenière has to be exposed so that we find out that he was maybe peddling influences, he was using the media. So these are all questions that we have to ask ourselves, and we have to ask ourselves also, who's the mainstream media that was used by Robert Lafrenière, and why was he or she pushing this? Was she closer to a political party than another? That's a question that we all have to ask, because, you know, if you're trying to influence the population with a false pretext, that is criminally dangerous, in my opinion.
And especially, do you think that did postpone the trial and the investigation to leak some information, probably to help some politician or to help the case of some other people?
I won't go that far, because I'm an insider, but I don't know how they work. But I'm going to tell you one thing's for sure: the Liberals got in power. They didn't want no public inquiry, okay? So when you bring in a new form of judicial form, which is UPAC, which is Unité Permanente Anticorruption, Anti-Corruption, what that did automatically is every dossier that was sent to the public inquiry couldn't be spoken of, because it was defended. Let's say, oh, right now we're in court, or right now we're in inquiries, we're checking out information, so you cannot expose this because it might hurt the further investigations. And that helped a lot of people get rid of papers, you know, throw away some documents, you know, burn out the files, destroy your phones. So, you know, it helps out a lot. You know, time helps a lot of people.
And I will finish with this question. Right now, with our current government, Mr. Legault, do you think this is still happening, corruption in the construction field? Your own opinion on this.
I'll give you a little, marijuana is always said to be the gateway drug to hard drugs, right? That's what a lot of politicians used to say. I'll finish by telling you, politics is the gateway drug to corruption. So do not ever believe that everything is clean or it's fixed. It's far from it, and we see it every day. We see it every day happening. Corrupt politics are the gateway drug to corruption.
Do you think you have a way to fix something at one point?
We need to readjust ourselves and see the system, and we have to vote for the real people, not just vote because, you know, they tell us to vote, or because he's popular, or she has good hair, or, you know, or whatever. We have to vote for people that have proven that they will work for us, and they're not working for, you know, outside interference from, you know, United Nations or whatever. You know, we have to vote for people that will help Montreal, that will help Toronto, that will help Vancouver, that will help Manitoba, you know, that will help Winnipeg, that will help every state, every province, you know, every local politician that really takes care of its people. Vote for them. Do not vote for what media is telling you to vote for, because it's going to go wrong. You know, and if you're a hero in one day, you're going to be a zero next. And I had every major. I could take a minute, take a phone call, and call every journalist in Quebec, and I'd have him on speed dial, and he'd call me up right away because he wanted me today. I'm not even close. Why? Mostly because, you know, when you expose the truth, it hurts them.
Yeah, but it hurts lots of people.
Yeah, absolutely. It hurts them, but it hurts lots of people, yeah.
But thank you for to share your part of your story, a part of your opinion and your view on what is going on here in the society. And probably we will have you again.
Thank you.
Probably if we have other people who get like...
And may I add just something?
Yeah, of course.
Sorry, it's just something out of the blue, but it's kind of funny. It's just to show the people from Rebel how it works. When I was in the public inquiry, okay, a lot of people, we have a commissioner, it's called la Commission de la Construction du Québec. It oversees the construction industry. Okay, and I saw a lot of these guys go at public inquiry on TV, and underneath their name, it was written expert. So, you know, they're experts for the mainstream media and the people. But all those guys, all of them from the CCQ, came to me to ask me how the construction industry was running. And I was a union director, no expert, right? So they put me union director, but they put them experts. So when you work for the government, you're an expert, but they were asking me how it works.
So they were not really experts.
Exactly. But on TV, underneath their name, there's a nice little slide and it's written expert. So what you see is not always what you get. You understand? It's illusion. It's window dressing. So yeah, so it's very important. It's these little things that we try to expose here at Lux and the Rebel and whatever. It's not always the same thing. It's not always done the same way. And people, you know, what we see on TV, we really do believe it, you know, but sometimes it's not true. That's it.
So Father's Day is coming up, and if you want to please your dad or yourself, you can do so at rebelnewsstore.com. With our code DAD25, you get 25% on your purchase. So please don't hesitate to give a gift to your dad and yourself or friend if you want. Thank you.